Under the videotaped diary of the mad black woman, I said Paul Thiessen, working out of the Minnesota Department of Health, began to take my teeth. He took 5 of them, digging the silver out. I said him and Keith needed money. So as I met Atlee Riley, Amy Jane Getz knew that Keith Ellison, Paul Thiessen needed money, dug the silver out my mouth. As I met Atlee with a bleeding mouth, looking like a drug addict, Paul Thiessen, Amy Jane Getz, Margaret O'Sullivan Kane, facilitating more deals, because I'm a special ed basket case, began to pay doctors, to show up at facilities and then administer medication to me, like Zoloft, Haldol. They had me strapped to a bed. They said in my ear they were going to let the woman loose and she was going to attack me. I was strapped to a bed in that door right there. I had just slit my fucking wrist after again, right? Sergeant Kojos, Captain Foley, Internal Affairs investigator Scott Zierden investigated me for Keith and Bobby, right? And as they investigated me for Keith and Bobby, Paul Thiessen, taking them teeth, working with hired Michael LaFlave out of Denver, Colorado, said I was a troublemaker. And as they called me a troublemaker, they took 20 more teeth. And they called me a drug addict. And as they called me a drug addict, they used history of Oxycontin that I never used, by the way. I sold it, didn't I, Linda Higgins? Paul Thiessen, Al Franken. I sold it to Andrea Faulkner. I sold it to Ray. And I sold it to Dale. I told Ray, you remind me of a narc. I think that you're out of the Army, the National